Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome back to Beyond the Plate RVA, the podcast. And I'm so excited to be back here again. I'm your host, Rebekah Pierce. And this show is brought to you by RLP Productions and the Culture Mix Studios. So we are back with another fantastic episode. I'm excited to bring this Black woman in food here to have a chat with her about her business and what she's doing in the food industry. But once again, I want to remind our listeners that this show was inspired by our attendance at the Black Women in Food Conference in Washington, D.C. in 2023. And we're excited that the second year of Black Women in Food is coming up at the end of this month, April. But I am going to be there. Chef Michelle's going to be there. And we are hoping to get a bunch of other Black women in food to come as well. And so this show is all about how Black and brown women are making their mark in the food, spirits, and beverages industry. And so with that, I brought another fantastic guest. And of course, if I mess up your name, correct me. But I'm bringing to you, and look, I forgot the first name already. But I'm bringing to you, ladies and gentlemen, Chef Jordan-Johnson. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Okay, introduce yourself.
Well, my name is Natonya Jordan-Johnson.
And it was right there on the tip of my tongue.
Kitchen Queen.
Kitchen Queen, I love it. You were referred to me by one of my former students, one of my preciouses. Yes. And I'm so happy that he connected you with me because I want to, again, give a platform to Black women, Black and brown women, and help elevate their business and what they're trying to do. So tell us a little bit about the Kitchen Queen. What do you do? What's your specialty?
Well, I was always told that I am a natural nurturer.
Okay.
And in growing up, my mom and my grandmother cooked all the time.
Like a lot of us, yes.
Yeah, cooked all the time. And my grandmother never knew how to cook a little bit of food.
Oh, wow, yes.
Big old stock pots.
Oh,
she's cooking.
She's feeding the whole village.
Oh, I'm telling you. Everybody would come over and just, eat and laugh and talk. And in today's society, you don't see a lot of that anymore.
You don't.
So my wish and my passion, because honestly, as a child, I never thought that I would be a cook.
Oh, really?
Never,
Wow, okay.
never. I would be the eater.
As we all are.
Yeah,
right.
I would eat up everything, and I loved it, but I never thought that I would fill my grandmother and my mom's shoes. Mm-hmm. It wasn't until right before my mom got sick, she can cook. Oh
wow.
And on Saturdays, she would cook a lot of food.
Oh, for Sunday?
No.
Oh, just for Saturday?
Oh,
yes, Lord.
Yes.
I'd be at your house every day.
She cooked every day, but on Saturdays, it was the beauty salons.
Right. Oh,
everybody wanted food. And when I tell you her pots were scraping. And they would tell her, Miss Di, you don't have any more?
Right.
And she didn't sold like 30 or 40 plates.
Wow. Yeah, that's definitely my mother's generation of making plates and selling them.
Yeah.
Whether it was for the church or wherever that was happening. So is your grandmother and your mom, those are the women who inspired you? Did you grow up watching, really observing what they would put in the pot and how much they would put in the pot?
Yes, and I have to be honest. So with my business, I want to do so many things, but I had to kind of not take a step back, but just kind of put things in perspective.
Right, focus.
Because, to be able to focus on one thing at a time, because I would be all over the place.
I'm like that with the bakery. Yes, I am. I can bake pretty much anything, but I understand you have to narrow it down, get your specific specialty.
Put things in order, prioritize things. And with that being said, like I said, I have so much to do, but I want to get back into doing more food.
Ooh.
I want to do different stuff. I just want to do so much. My grandmother I said I wanted to do a cookbook.
Right.
But with cookbooks, you have to measure and all that stuff.
But you're not from that. Yeah, they don't do that.
I am not. My sister would say, well, how much did you?
I don't know. I eyeballed it.
Yeah.
Right.
And she said, well, you need to start writing it down. I said, yeah, you're right. I make a seasoning.
Ooh.
So I make my own seasoning and my own sauce. So my first priority right now is to get that on the shelves of stores.
Right. So how did you know, though, when this was what you were going to do? You said you had no intention of being a chef, but when did that change? When did you go, okay, yeah, this is my destiny?
Well, my mom, even though I had no intention, I would always watch them.
Right.
And on those Saturdays, when she would sell out, and she would tell my brother and I, y'all better get a plate. Because,
right. It's not going to be here.
It's not going to be here long, and we were like, okay. And my brother would eat all the while.
Of
she
course.
was cooking anyway. Typical man. But we sat down and we talked one evening, and she says, let's open up a restaurant. I said, well, you must want me to do your books or something because I don't cook.
Right.
She said, you cook fine. And I never, I could cook well enough for my kids.
Right, for the family, for the immediate family.
But
right.
never to this capacity.
Right.
And she would just, she encouraged me. And she said, stop downplaying yourself.
Wow.
And we talked and she made some really valid points. So many years ago, there was never a lot of talk about women entrepreneurship.
Oh, definitely in her generation. My mother's generation, definitely.
Definitely. It was always, not to be stereotypical, but it was always the women stayed home and took care of the kids, which is not bad.
Right.
Because now we're doing it and we're business owners.
And we're working, yes.
We're wives.
Well, they were industrious. And I like to think that they were entrepreneurs, but they just didn't have the title.
Right. Right. Exactly. So I want to show all the other little young ladies that are coming up, you can do it.
Right, that cooking is not how they called it back then, a domestic, right? That you can actually launch a restaurant, like you said. You can launch a food truck, a catering business. That it could be something that could give you the life you desire.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So your mother put the seed in you.
She did. She really did. And I have to tell you, she threw me a birthday party when I turned 30. And when I walked, it was a surprise birthday party. I walked in the door and the balloons fell in my face. And I was like, and I cried. And she looked at me like, that wasn't the reaction I was expecting.
Right.
So, that was the evening she kind of put because I helped her clean up and everything. And that was the evening that we talked about it. Wow. And unfortunately, we never did it because my mom got sick. She got sick. She passed away. And this is what I want to do now. Right. I want to do this for her. I want to do this for me.
Right. Because she probably had she had the dream, but she thought it would come through you. Right.
And she's I know she's with me.
Right.
Because I get a certain smell.
Ooh, I love that connection.
I do. When she first passed away, she used to smoke cigarettes, and she only did it when she was in pain.
Oh.
And I hated the smell of cigarettes.
Right.
So when she first passed away, I knew she was there because I smelled cigarettes everywhere. And I don't smoke. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't smoke anything. And I would smell the cigarettes, and it was a strong scent. And I'm just like, what in the world? What
the sign. That's the sign.
Yeah.
Right.
I went to the doctor, and they don't smoke in the doctor's office. And I smelled it there. Everywhere I went, I smelled it. And now I get a hint of her Estee Lauder.
Oh, she wore Estee Lauder. That was my favorite perfume. I can't wear perfume anymore. I'm allergic. But Estee Lauder was my favorite perfume. Oh, wow.
And when I know she's there, I get a really light hint. And I know she's there.
Wow. What was her dish that that was her? What was the dish that was her?
Oh, let me tell you. So she would make barbecue ribs.
Ooh, yes.
She would make collard greens.
Ooh, collard greens.
Macaroni and cheese.
Okay, now I'm hungry. Damn. Now I'm hungry. Okay.
Yeah, me too.
Right.
Cornbread, everything. And I have to be honest, that's my go-to dish.
Yes. And you gave me some cornbread, and might I say that I could eat that all day, every day. Not everybody can make cornbread. Let's be very clear. Not everybody can make cornbread. So when I got your cornbread, I was like, oh, Lord, she know what she doing. That's some good cornbread, right?
It's funny because my recipe of my cornbread is different from
hers. Okay.
And she has some of my cornbread, and she said, I like your cornbread better than mine.
And we would laugh about it. It was some good cornbread. It really was. So then what is your favorite thing now about being a woman in food as you look back from where you've come and then where you're trying to go? What's your favorite thing about being a Black woman in food?
Well, because we have the power. If you want to take it back to, what is it, Beyonce's song, We Run the World.
We run the world, right, girls.
So, not taking anything away from the guys.
Right.
But women, we can do this too. And it has nothing to do with masculinity or taking any power away from the guys. It's just that we can do this too.
Right. And so when you're looking at the sauces that you want to put on the shelf and the seasoning that you want to put on the shelf, what's your vision for that? How do you see that manifesting for you? What's your ultimate vision for the sauce and the seasoning? How do you want to see it on the shelves?
I want to see an abundance of it on the shelves. I want to see it in all the stores. I want to see everyone. You got some people that say, I can't cook. I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
And a lot of times it's really the seasonings and, how you marinating it and all that good stuff. People, you can do this too.
Right. So how did you come up with the sauces? Just experiment in the kitchen?
Let me just tell you, by accident. By pure
the greatest inventions are by accident.
I promise you, it was by complete accident. One night, it was a Saturday, I didn't know what to cook. I was just like, what am I cooking? I'm tired. Sometimes I get tired of eating out, and then it gets so expensive sometimes, So I made some chicken skewers, some boneless chicken skewers, and I can never have anything plain.
Neither can I.
I can never have anything plain, and it was weird because when I'm in the store, if I'm food shopping, I'll see different sauces on the counter.
Yes.
I'm like, and I just go to grab it, and I'm in the kitchen, and I'm just
mixing stuff.
A little bit of this, and what this tastes like. Okay, let me go over here.
A little bit more of this, a little bit more of that.
Yeah, and that's what I do.
Wow, and that's how it came to pass. Wow. So what's your favorite dish to put that sauce on?
Oh man, chicken.
Oh,
so because chicken is always the go-to.
Right.
There's so many different ways. I laugh and I say, "Gosh, we eat so much chicken, we're gonna cluck in a minute." But you can do so much to chicken to make it taste different. A couple of weeks ago, I made a pineapple jerk chicken.
Oh Lord, that sounds so good.
It was
pineapple jerk chicken.
Amazing.
Oh, I bet it was. Because I had your sauce. Your sauce is the bomb.
On the ribs, yeah.
Yes. And I'm like, oh Lord, how did you make this sauce? The sauce was slamming. So you put it on chicken.
Yes, you can put it on chicken. Well, see, the sauce is kind of, there's different types of barbecue sauce. Right. It's just for barbecue.
Yes.
But this sauce is for everything.
Ooh. Okay. Yes.
My daughter takes it and she eats French fries. The kids.
She puts it in French fries. Yeah. Ooh.
Or she'll drizzle it over.
So are you able to divulge the name of the sauce yet?
The Kitchen Queen Special.
The Kitchen Queen Special. Okay. And so right now, how can people get it if they wanted it?
You can call me and order it.
Oh, okay. We're going to get your information at the end. Yeah, okay, definitely.
Call me and order it. It's what I really do. I want this on the shelves.
Right.
I want it to be known all over the place. When you hear Kitchen Queen, I want people to know that we need to bring family and love back into the families.
Right.
And everybody gravitates to food. So
that's why we bake. Yeah, that's why we bake. We want people to get back in the kitchen, families to get back in the kitchen and have that time together. Yeah. Because we don't have it now. There's so much going on in the world.
So much going on.
And the one thing that will bring people together, is food. Yes. Absolutely food. Yes, food. So your sauce is universal. It could be put on anything. And that's what gets people inspired to go back in the kitchen because they're like, well, I don't have to be a master chef. I just got to put this chicken together and pour the sauce on it and I'm done.
Exactly.
I love that idea.
A class and I saw it on Instagram and I was just really because I'm always interested in learning new stuff, how someone did this, how someone did that, or how just how they went about doing things. And an idea I got from it was to put the seasoning and the sauce on the shelves. I can even bake prepare food with the frozen. You can put a frozen dish on the. I make a three meat, 3 cheese baked ziti.
Lord Jesus, why does she have to say that right now?
And
oh God, say it again. A 3 cheese what?
It's a 3 meat, 3 cheese baked ziti.
3 meat, 3 cheese baked ziti. Oh my.
And that's just the standard, because you can add whatever you want into it. Yeah. But people, some people don't eat pork, so you don't use pepperoni. You know what I mean? I can put pepperoni in it. What I usually do is I'll do ground beef, I'll do turkey, and I'll do chicken. So that's the 3 meats.
That sounds fabulous.
But I've done sausage, I've done pepperoni all at one time.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, it's versatile.
Right.
Ooh, wow.
Right. So when I have, and like my grandmother, the big old stock pots, it's now at home, it's just my husband and I. So
you can't, stock pots probably be too big for you.
Yeah, but I cook like my mind going bad, and he look at me like, "Who
gonna eat all that? Yeah, who gonna eat all that?"
Yeah. So I go to calling up family. Y'all hungry? Yeah. What you cook? So I'm running.
Look, call me next. I'm coming over.
I got you.
So your plan then is for these items to be on the shelf. So let's talk a little bit about the business of food. How prepared are you to launch that? Are you still in your research mode? Are you in your sample product mode? Where are you at in the process?
So with that being said, I am actively working my business. I'm actively working my business properly.
Right.
Not that I'm knocking anyone, but not just selling, plates out of the house. I started out that way.
Yes, a lot of us did.
Because you want everyone to, you want everyone to know who you are.
Yeah, it's groundwork.
To get your name out there. Yeah. And it was funny because I met someone and they said, "Aren't you Kitchen Queen?" I was like, and it surprised me. I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
It threw me off. I was like, "Yeah, I am." And, I kind of got souped up big head, but I'm actively working my business. I cook for weddings, parties, date nights, private chef duties. My best friend over 25 years is marrying my cousin soon.
Oh.
And she wants me to cater her wedding.
Oh,
but
absolutely.
my husband and I went to their house in Charlotte and did a date night. And my cousin is very picky. He and my husband both are very picky. Like,
Right.
what is this? You know, I don't want that. You know, I don't eat this. My cousin, I made them pineapples. My cousin sat down to that doggone pineapple and tore it up.
If the listeners could smell the room right now, just I'm smelling all that because my niece, she's an aspiring chef, and she made us a pineapple rice and chicken dish. And girl, she's only 15. It was 15. She's 15,
that's awesome.
And she already knows this is what she wants to do, and it was so good.
And see, when I make them, when people order them, I have to know ahead of time what it is you want because I take pride in what I'm doing.
Oh, yes, you should.
The way I want to eat, you know, and I take my meats and I clean everything.
Right.
I season everything, marinate everything the night before. Next day I cook. I do a Caribbean infused rice in the bottom of the pineapple. I cut everything out. Ooh. And with the meat, I'll cook the meat I'm sorry.
That's okay.
When I make the meat, I make it in the marinade, but I make a sauce as well for it. So when I cook the meat, I'm cooking it with the onions and peppers.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm putting the sauce in there and I let it slowly simmer. Wow. And after that, I take the fresh pineapple that I cut out of the fresh pineapple and put it in the mixture. So
why didn't you bring that today? Anyways, I'm requesting that. So,
I got you. I can make you one.
Oh my God, it sounds good. So like a lot of kind of like what we were talking about, I think before we got on the air and a little bit on the air. So you are you learned how to do this. And so you probably do, like you said, you do a lot of studying and researching about how to do certain things. So what is your word of advice for a young woman, someone like my niece who maybe not everybody's made for school.
Right.
But everybody can learn.
That's right.
So what is your advice for a young woman who maybe wants to do this but thinks that she has to get, all the culinary degrees and all that, but she's a good learner?
I think keep researching. Keep going. Right. That's first of all. First, pray. And if this is what you want, manifest it.
Right.
Do it. Keep going. Don't stop.
Do a lot of, do you do food fairs and things like that?
I haven't lately, but I will.
Okay.
The weather is changing soon.
Yes, that experience,
Yeah, and I definitely want to, I was thinking of doing a tasting, like sponsoring a tasting event where people can just come.
Can you do that with a cupcake?
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's a good idea. Yeah. I love that. That would be a good idea, a tasting, and that's another way to get the word out about what you do. Absolutely. Taste your sauces, taste your seasonings and whatnot.
Yes.
I think that'd be a great idea.
Yes.
I will be there.
And stuff. I got you. I'm actually in the making of that now.
Right. I love that. That is fantastic. So your advice to her is just to go out there and try. Just do it.
Going and be around like-minded people.
Absolutely.
That is really important because depending on, be strong. You have to be strong in this world because people, I don't want to, miserable people, let's just be honest.
Yes.
Miserable people can put that miserable energy into you.
Right.
And that's not what you want.
And they tell you that you can't do, because one of the things I've talked about a lot, particularly for young women, is that the world will tell you that the dream you have is not sexy enough and therefore you shouldn't go after it. And so for some people, preparing food for people might not seem like a quote unquote sexy thing to do. But if that's your gift, that's the thing you enjoy doing, use it, right? Go for it. Because people are going to always need food.
Yes.
AI can come and do whatever it needs to do, but people going to need food.
That's just like the hospitals. We're going to always need care.
You're going to always need food. Yeah, care,
it's certain things that we're going to always need.
Right, absolutely.
And it's important. You can't give up. It gets hard. Now, I'm gonna be very transparent. I've gotten a lot of no's.
We all have, yes.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean stop.
Right. No,
it doesn't mean sulk.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean,
give up. It doesn't mean
anything. Yeah, it was weird. I won't say weird. People have different palates.
Yes, they do.
And you're not going to satisfy everyone's palate.
You're not. But let me give you an example of the palate. How sensitive my palate has become. As many of you know, I am the owner of Maggie's Custom Sweet Treats, and so I make desserts from scratch, right? Yes. So the other day, I was fiending for a sweet treat, and I had not prepared nothing, so I was out traveling, so I was like, well, let me just stop in the store and get something. So I'm not going to name no names because I don't want them coming after me, but it was one of my favorite chocolate desserts. Lord, I went to bite into that thing. I could taste the chemicals. I could taste every chemical in that sucker. It was so bad. I couldn't even finish eating it. I had to throw the whole thing away. And that's how sensitive. So like before I started baking professionally, I would go in the store, you would buy those, and you couldn't taste those things. Right. But now that you know what goes into food, when you when you taste food, that doesn't, kitchens that don't maybe necessarily do the quality control, the quality items, you can taste the difference in a dish that is made with love and a dish that's just thrown together with chemicals. And so this is one of the things why we say we don't make anything with preservatives or additives, because you can now taste
it. It's like now the way they're processing what they're processing the food in is so different. I mean, I don't want to get off too much into that because that's a huge
area, huge topic.
But I had one young lady say to me, I gave her a quote for a wedding, and she says, "Gosh, you're expensive." And I said, well, I really apologize. I don't mean to, because I've never been the type of person.
I don't apologize no more. I just tell them, listen, you want high quality ingredients, then that's what we do. And we don't cut corners.
The cheap stuff is expensive now.
Yes, it is.
But it was weird because I fried a piece of chicken one night. A piece of just regular chicken and organic chicken.
Oh, Lord, here we go. The difference.
When I tell you the difference between the two.
Yes.
So, again, if I'm going to feed you.
I'm going to feed you good
stuff.
Exactly. Well, that's what love is. Isn't it? This is why I think like the food industry, there are more women in this industry than they talk about.
Yeah.
Because we don't all get the camera, right? And so we know historically for our community that love was through a plate of food.
Right.
And when you are showing someone how much you love them, you want to give them the best that you can and prepare it the best that you can because you're giving them love. Yes. And I think we have, and I think you agree, we've lost that connection between love and compassion and food. And I think women like you who are either going to culinary school or doing it the old school way, this is what you aspire to continue to do, is I want to show you love. So my price is going to be high.
Yeah.
Because I'm giving you good.
And what I also do is I provide tastings.
Right.
Because I don't want you to spend your money and then you feel like, because again, everyone's palates are different.
Yes.
So I charge for a tasting, and if you book with me, the price of the tasting comes off of your invoice.
See, there you go. Bam. This is how you do business.
So, I try to be
fair. It's
a
win-win. Right. Yeah, it's a win-win for you and the customer.
Buy material.
You do. So. Let's not talk about the price of butter. Right. So, Chef, when you are in a space in your head, in your heart, what is the dish that you prepare for yourself that brings you comfort, that brings you joy?
Macaroni and cheese.
Girl, you ain't said nothing but a word. Macaroni and cheese.
Macaroni and cheese, because since my mom has been gone, macaroni and cheese and greens.
Ooh. You put turkey in your greens, don't you?
Yes, ma'am.
Because girl, that turkey. Listen, my mama said. You got to qualify, right? My mama said, "Oh, she know how to make some greens." Now, when my mama says that, you've done.
Gotta be good, right?
You've done your job. But she was like, "Oh, these greens. Oh, she know how to cook some greens." Because, they're picky. My mother's 70, she'll be 71 this year. That generation, they are picky. And they know when it's a can versus you made this yourself.
Oh, yeah. I went to a place and got some canned greens. I said, I should be ashamed. My brother-in-law said to me at my wedding, he said, "Hey, sis," he hollered over because they were sitting at the bridal table.
Right.
And he looked over and he says, "I told you should have cooked your own food."
Right.
We all fell out laughing because he's the life of the party. And we all fell out laughing. I said,
you can't be both the bride and cooking in the kitchen.
But let me tell you, I started to.
Oh my goodness. Well, because when you want quality, so like I will not ever buy a sweet. I won't. I won't buy it from the store. I will make it myself. And people. So like for example, my daughter, she runs track. Those who follow me, they know my daughter runs track, and they had a banquet last week, and she asked me to make chocolate chip cookies. Well, I went a little further and added M&Ms because I know I'm giving these cookies to kids, right? First she was mad at me. She's like, "No, don't put no M&Ms in." And I was like, "I'm telling you, these kids are going to eat it." She's like, "No, they're not." Okay, I saved 3 for her with no M&Ms. I took the cookies to the event, and I put my cookies on the table, and I noticed that somebody bought the store-bought cookies. And I looked, and I was like, girl, my cookies were gone within 5 minutes. When we left 2 hours later, those cookies were
still sitting there.
That's the difference of quality in food. So your customers, when they get your food, they know that they are loved. Yes. Because you've given them a plate of love.
I try to post all my reviews and things, because you can tell anybody anything.
Exactly.
I want you to know and see it for yourself. A lot of people say, well, can she really cook? And that's why another reason why I just post all my reviews. You can hit those people up. These are real reviews. These are not something that I just decided to type
that
up,
you made up a name.
I'm not going to do that.
So speaking of reviews and customers, so what do you need from the community, from your customers to help you with this goal of not only continuing to provide great food, but to put your spices and your sauces in the stores?
Just give it a try. Give it a try. Be open-minded and give it a try.
Okay.
Give it a try. Let's put family back together.
Right.
Even if, because so much is going on. Gosh, we could be on that for hours, but so much is going on. And, it's the older generations, they're gone.
Right. And who's going to continue?
Who's going to continue?
Yeah, who's going to carry?
Right. So, and that's going to be me.
And that's over here with Maggie's Custom Sweet Treats.
Yes, that's going to be me.
And I think
so
just
I want
about
everybody else to do it too.
Right. And I think just about every guest we've had on the show, that has been everybody's desire, is to continue to provide good food.
Yes.
Loving food and bring your best product to market. Yes. And that's a huge thing. So my final question for you then, in doing all of this, how do you take care of yourself mentally, spiritually, physically? What's your daily ritual for self-care, for wellness? How do you take care of yourself?
So I work a regular full-time job.
Like most of us.
Right.
Right.
So I'll get up in the morning, and when I tell you, my sister's a minister. And I tell my sister, I said, girl, I pray so much. God probably like, what do you want
now? Right.
She said, no, he don't,
Right.
But we joke around about it. But when I go to bed at night, I pray before I go to bed. Before my feet hit the floor in the morning, I pray before I get up. During the day, I try to get up maybe about an hour before my shift and meditate.
Good.
And if I don't do that, if I'm tired, depending on the day before, if I'm tired, I'll sleep till it's time for me to get up. And then on my lunch break, I'll just, the house is quiet.
Yep.
My husband's at work. My daughters, everybody, the kids are grown. They're all out on their own.
Oh, lucky you, girl.
But the house is quiet, and I will put on meditation music, and I'll just sit still.
Stillness.
Yes.
That's the thing we, as women of color, must practice.
You have to.
Rest.
You have to. Yes. You have to take that time. I love the water. I am a water baby. And my mom, when she passed away, she wanted to be cremated. So we cremated her, and I have her on a mantle on my fireplace in the house. But I did have like extra ashes after my brother and my grandmother and everybody got theirs. And I took some of her ashes and I kind of spread them, in the where we used to go to
the water.
The water. And I go there.
Well, that's where we come from.
Yeah, I go there and I talk to her. Sometimes if it's something is rough for me, I'll go there and cry.
Right.
I'll go there and, Ma, guess what? Because such and such and such and such,
Right.
Or sometimes I just go and I sit and I listen to the water and I just kind of watch it flow.
Right.
That is my peaceful place.
Yes, girl.
That's
joy. That's where it's at. Yes.
Yeah, it really is. But you have to, your mental, when things become overwhelming, because as we said before, when life's,
yes,
when things become overwhelming, sometimes you have to step back.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you have to reset and refocus.
And that's where you get your creativity from. When you rest, you allow your body to not only recalibrate, but you allow your mind to rest so that it can come forth with ideas, with new thoughts and new directions that you wouldn't have never thought of it if you hadn't rested.
Absolutely.
So that's wonderful. That's fantastic. So now I'm going to get your socials, because everybody's going to want to know, where can I find her? So give us your social media.
My Facebook is Natonya, Natonya Jordan-Johnson, and it'll have my picture as well as Kitchen Queen is my profile picture as well. So that's my social media. On Instagram, I am Kitchen Queen LLC. Kitchen Queen LLC. Darn.
TikTok?
Yes, I have a Kitchen Queen is my TikTok as well.
Kitchen Queen on TikTok, right?
Yes, Kitchen Queen on TikTok. And if you go to my Instagram as well as my Facebook page, I have posters and cards with a QR code.
Good.
You can scan the QR code and it'll take you to all my social media.
Right. And they can order from those sites?
Yes. You can see pictures of my food. You can see reviews. So, yeah.
Well, I'm just going to put in my order for the pineapple and
no problem.
And the cornbread.
And the cornbread.
So I want to thank you so much, Chef, for joining us today.
It was my pleasure.
We wish the most for you, the best success for you, and we definitely hope the community rallies around not only your tasting, but enables you and puts you in places that you never thought you could be, so that it would elevate what you do. Because you're trying to do like all the women who we've had on the show, and the gentlemen, young men as well. You're just trying to give love.
Yeah.
And we want to support
need
that.
more of that.
Oh God, yes.
With the new babies that are coming in now,
they need love too.
Let's show them something different. Let's break these generational curses and do better.
Absolutely. And podcasting and meeting chefs who create love is a way for them to do that,
Absolutely.
right?
I want to do a cooking show where, chefs, people that maybe are not even chefs, they just want to come
learn
on
how
and
to cook,
have a little fun and learn how to cook. I just
a little
fun.
All. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
It really isn't, depending on what you want to cook. So with that, thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you guys follow us definitely on social media. We are Beyond the Plate RVA TV show on Instagram, and then our website, you can check us out, rlpproductions.com. And again, if you know of a chef, black or brown woman, who's in the food, beverage, or spirits industry, and you think it would make a great guest for the show, please hit us up. You can email us at info@rlpproductions.com, or again, follow us on social media, send us their name, their contact information. We'd love to bring them on the show, So with that, I thank you guys so much for listening. You guys have a great day. Make sure you follow our podcast channels. We're on Spotify, Apple, Google. I think I missed some other people, but we're everywhere. So make sure you tune in, okay, and follow the show. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.